Hello and welcome to Balanced Existence. I would like to do another channeled reading. The last one I did was my first one on the channel, and I just felt like I got so many chills, and I could really feel like I was picking up on a collective that is maybe not so common, but is extremely powerful, and I really want to continue tapping into that. So if you would like to watch the previous video, you can go ahead and check that one out, but I'm going to get right into it here. So we kind of painted the picture of the background of this connection, and basically we're dealing with a divine feminine who has really come into her intuition and her spirituality compared with a divine masculine or divine counterpart. Again, masculine, feminine, could be whatever gender you resonate with, but a divine masculine or divine counterpart who maybe was a little more closed in the heart or did not have or had commitment issues or was avoidant. And of course we also touched on the fact that any flaws or problems with the divine counterpart were simply mirrors of something in the divine feminine. So if you are finding this video, I'm picking up on you being this divine feminine. But of course, if you're resonating with the other side and you have found this video and you feel like this video is for you, then of course you are welcome here. So what I'm getting with this divine feminine, and we talked about this in the last video, of this beautiful concept of crossing this line in the sand from this past, almost like from this past timeline to this future timeline. And it's also kind of analogous to climbing a hill, but the reason I love this line in the sand analogy is like with a hill, it makes it seem like everything's uphill and then it's going to be all downhill from there. And downhill could imply like, oh, it's going down, like bad, but also downhill implies, oh, we just cruise downhill, it's easy. And so the hill analogy I don't like as much because there's like confusion there. And also I love this concept of the line in the sand because switching timelines really is so simple, right? It really is as simple as crossing over a line, a single line in the sand. Yes, of course, there's work that has to be done, which, inner work that can be analogous to climbing a hill and, the challenges and potential struggles that may come along that journey. But I love this concept of us crossing this line in the sand. And, maybe it's done in a second, maybe it's done over a year, however you want to envision it or use the analogy to fit your story, right? But of course, inner work is an ongoing thing. In a way, you could see that there being multiple lines in the sand across your life of those pivotal milestones. And so anyway, we talked about just how exciting it is that your angels are looking down at you saying, wow, you are crossing this line. Like, if only you could see what an amazing pivotal moment this is for you. And so I want to tap more into the current state of this divine feminine who is crossing this line. Maybe you're just about to start crossing the line. Maybe you're in the process of crossing this line. Maybe you feel you have just crossed the line and you're now in this new territory, this new vortex of energy of this dream life that you have manifested, whether or not, and this is of course completely regardless of whether any of this is reflecting in the physical, in the 3D, right? Because the first and main step is to just align with the energy. So a lot of this crossing of the line in the sand is not meant to be a reflection of, oh, like I was single and now I'm in a relationship, or oh, I had that job and now I have this better job. Like, really the 3D is irrelevant. Excuse me. So I really want to focus more on like the energetic embodiment of our current state. So with this divine feminine, I'm feeling like what I'm hearing is you are ready. Like, you are ready for this. Like, you have got this. Like, those words are just coming through so strong. So, I mean, if that resonates, you can write it, journal it, you can comment it. I am ready for this. I am so ready for this, just to lock in that energetic state. But what I'm getting here is maybe there was a time in the past where you tried to manifest. You may have tried to like visualize your dream life, and you did the best you could at that given time, but there were some blocks, or there were some things that you couldn't quite see. Like, it's almost like there were some spots on your glasses, on your lens, right? Like, it wasn't just, it could have been a fog, or it could have been a legitimate like spot that was just preventing you from seeing through it. But because you've done all of this inner work and you have cleared out this energy, you have really lightened up your energy, you are glowing, you can now see so much clearer. You see abundance in everything, in everything around you. And you just see this infinite source energy that everything around you is made up of. And I've talked about abundance, and especially in the context of entering that flow state, especially for creative projects. I've talked about that in my previous videos. So if this is all topics that are resonating with you, I encourage you to go check out those videos because they may resonate for you. But so what I'm getting here is you now have a clear lens to look through of what you want to manifest. And you have just the perfect amount of clarity balanced with not being attached or having these expectations, but just this simple clarity and knowing that it's already done. And so this is the concept of, like, when we talked about the divine counterpart, and you may have spent many years feeling completely attached to them. If you're having this like twin flame journey where you're having this infatuation and this attachment, like, you have left that behind. You have left that on the other side of this line in the sand, and you are not so focused on the attachment. You are so focused on this alignment. And this is really the key. Like, you are aligning, and this is the clarity I was talking about. You are aligning with this beautiful vision and dream. It's a vision of your dream life, of the love, the harmony, the growth that you want to embody, the type of life you want to live. Like, you know what that looks like. You have that clarity, and you are on that path of aligning with it. And so by nature, you will not attach to anything that is not in alignment with that, right? And so there's not going to be unhealthy attachments, because that just doesn't exist in this paradigm that you're living in now. Like, through this lens, there's no space for that. Like, it doesn't fit. It doesn't exist. So you're able to now visualize more clearly. And maybe this is something that you're really starting to work on, is like, what are some examples? Like, what are examples of what this healthy relationship would look like? What are specific examples of how I want this divine counterpart to take care of me? Because once you're in that mindset of abundance, you're realizing, oh, like, and I talked about this analogy in my last video, I can paint this picture from scratch however I want it. I'm not just coloring within the lines of, some page of another person's coloring book. Like, I have a blank canvas. I'm creating what I want, and it's my creative energy. Like, I'm tapping into that source energy, and I'm creating a masterpiece that aligns with and embodies my divine inner essence. So you're really starting to, fill in the outline on this blank canvas of what you want. Maybe this is something that you're actually on a journey of really starting, like, this is like your top priority right now, is crafting and putting together this vision. How do I want my divine counterpart to take care of me? How do I want to show up in that relationship? How do I want my career to look like? How do I want my business to look like? What is the growth that my business is going to have? Like, for example, I just started this channel. I really am not concerned at all about the views, the likes. I would love to hear comments. So if you're resonating with this, please drop a comment, because a big part of my goal with this channel is to create a community where we can all of us who resonate can talk and, share our experiences and connect in that way. But I already know that the channel will attract who it needs to attract, and it will grow to the abundance that it can. And of course, my conscious mind is going to set limits as to how much this channel can grow. And so there's that rubber band that you don't want to snap your rubber band, but you do want to stretch it as far as you can. And that's part of the manifestation process. So that's just an example for example, like my YouTube channel, or for maybe any business that you're doing where you're trying to get kind of this momentum going. And however you define success, you'll be able to put that into your vision. But maybe, maybe something about family, maybe it's something about your friendships, maybe it's about your home life. You're starting to realize, like, you in your abundance mindset can start to fill in exactly what you want it to look like. And as you begin to stretch that rubber band, you'll be able to go bigger and bigger and higher frequency. So as you're crossing this line in the sand, you are really successfully doing this. Like, you are becoming skilled in the practice of this visualization. And you are in complete trust with the universe. As we stretch that rubber band, your trust and your opportunity for, like, the successful outcome, it all fits within that rubber band. So as you stretch that rubber band and you say, I can achieve this opportunity, like, this is available to me, this fits, this aligns with my dream life vision, and it fits into the abundance that I can, consciously accept and receive, right? Because this is really about receiving what's truly an infinite source of abundance that our conscious minds can't always grasp that it's our conscious minds can't always grasp that it's infinite. And so that's why we have this rubber band, because that's really what our conscious mind's limits are. And that's normal. That's a normal part of being a human in the 3D plane. But let's test, you're realizing you want to test this rubber band. And that's just such an exciting part of your journey. And so all of your trust kind of fits into that rubber band. So you're starting to realize, okay, I'm going to stretch this rubber band. I'm going to draw the biggest and brightest and most aligned painting that I can draw with this blank canvas in front of me. And, these are all of my metaphors putting together. But this is the beauty of you becoming skilled at visualization. And then, of course, hand in hand with that visualization is the release, is the trust in the universe, is the letting go of when it's going to happen, or you controlling even how it happens, or you even knowing. Like, you don't need to know every aspect about it. You just need to know what the dream is, and then know that that dream is done. It is already done. If you can dream it, then it already exists, and you are just working on aligning to that timeline by stretching that rubber band, right? And, when I talk about drawing this picture and, how you have all of the colors in front of you, and when you're in that abundance mindset and you can craft all of the details. When I talk about details, I talk about details in the context of your dream life, right? Like, what is it that you dream of? I don't talk about details in how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen, right? Those are really important distinctions in manifestation, right? So, you trust the universe. The universe will orchestrate the perfect timing and circumstances for your highest good. And this is another affirmation that you can lock in the comments or journal about. I trust the universe to orchestrate the perfect timing and circumstances for my highest good. And that feels good. Like, that feels amazing to know I'm taken care of. I am taken care of, and I will be on my highest timeline just simply by believing it to be so, taking the action and doing the inner work to metaphorically set the table, which is another concept I talked about in a previous video, setting the table for your manifestations, right? You do have to do the work. They won't just be handed to you. But this concept of, well, I've got to clear off the table. If food comes to me, I need a plate to put it on, right? If food, this meal being the abundance of life, I need to clear the table. I need to get the clutter off. If I want something of high value, maybe I want to lay down a tablecloth. We'll clean the table, lay down a tablecloth, light some candles. Maybe I want to eat off of a really nice plate, not just a plastic plate and plastic cutlery. Maybe I want beautiful silver fork and knife and spoon and beautiful glass for my water. You get the picture, right? So this is this letting go while also taking the action to prepare and balancing the detail where you understand the detail that you want in your dream vision, but you don't need to know all of the details of the how and the when. And so through this process, you're really raising your vibration. You're feeling this positivity. You're feeling this joy. You're feeling so blessed and grateful because it's not about what's in the 3D. Like, you can feel what that would feel like in the 3D, but you're conjuring this energy from nothing. Like, you are creating this energy. You are creating this feeling just in the way that you are creating the 3D outcome. So, but you're not going to get that 3D outcome until you align to that energy. And that's the beauty. The energy, isn't that the easy part? So you're recognizing, I can feel good at any time. I can feel this joy and bliss at any time. And that is the beauty of not relying on external circumstances to dictate your feelings. And you are coming to terms with this realization. And maybe this is already something you've known, but you are really starting to embody it like permanently. Like, you are starting to practice this every day, every hour, every minute. Like, it is just becoming so ingrained in your essence of being. And that is the beautiful process of crossing over this line in the sand. You're just so aligned with where you want to be, and you're in just such a high vibration, a high frequency, which is allowing you to feel the feeling that's going to manifest your dreams. So this is the beautiful work of creation, of manifestation, of recognizing how empowered you are. And so I know I haven't pulled a card. I intended to pull some cards here. So I'm also getting, I've got the 9 of Pentacles here. So, and this is exactly what I was going to say, or it's kind of clicking with another thing I was going to say. So with the 9 of Pentacles, she's in her vineyard. She's achieved this beautiful abundance in life and this independence, right? Like, because ultimately, like I've talked about before, is like, you don't need that unhealthy attachment. You're able to create all of this independently. And of course, your dream vision can include a relationship. I mean, you're allowed to want, that partnership. You're not just allowed, but that's a completely natural part of being a human, right? Like, you want that connection. So although you've embodied this 9 of Pentacles, that's just the foundations, right? Like, now that you know what it is to be independent, to be successful, again, it doesn't really matter if this is manifested in the 3D yet, but you can feel what the 9 of Pentacles feels like. The 9 of Pentacles is perfectly describing that feeling that I was talking about, that you can conjure from nothing. You can conjure that 9 of Pentacles feeling of abundance, of independence, of self-sovereignty. And so another point that I was going to make is about spending time in nature to really match to that high frequency, positive feeling, right? And maybe for some people it's nature, meditation, hobbies that get you into that flow state. Like, that is the feeling of feeling alive. Like, when people say, oh, that makes me feel alive, like that is the core of what we're touching on here. And so I think it's such a beautiful synchronicity that on this 9 of Pentacles cards, she's in her vineyard and she's just walking the fields, right? Like, she's got abundance of grapes growing. Like, that is the beauty of this abundance that we're feeling. So I think that's a synchronicity for those who feel really connected to nature. To walk in nature, you will automatically be synced with abundance. You will look at all of the plants growing. You will think about all of the leaves that make up that tree, or all the branches that make up that tree, or every little cell that makes up the bark of a giant tree trunk, like every little grain of soil, right? Like you'll notice the abundance just inherently inherently a part of nature. And so as we release, we raise our vibration, we are completely open to receiving. And this is kind of the final part of the message that I'm getting for this, not final part of the message, but final part of this description of our current state that we're stepping into as the divine feminine collective. So you realize, like, at the core of it all, you know that, well, I want these dreams and I accept that about me. And also I know that if I happen to be mistaken, if I happen to think that I want this dream, but it ends up just being an ego dream, or maybe this dream was a soul dream, but it was just a stepping stone to a different dream. Maybe this dream is not permanent, right? Like, that's the underlying surrender that is a part of this whole process. Realizing that, whatever unfolds is always in service to your spiritual evolution. And this can be another affirmation. I trust that what unfolds is always in service to my spiritual evolution, because that feels good as well. It feels like, okay, I can trust that the universe will bring me what I ask for, in the right timing. But I can also trust that if what I ask for is maybe not the best for me, then I surrender and I accept that as well too. So when you're praying to your angels, it may benefit you to feel your gratitude for them, and also feel and state that you surrender to their wisdom, you surrender to their intention for you, because they are in part your higher self, right? So that is kind of the picture I'm painting here. I do want to pull some cards, and so I want to kind of tap into this divine counterpart. So I'm getting the Seven of Swords, so I'm feeling there's definitely some strategy, and this could also relate to you, your own strategy, like we just talked about all of these different points about all of these different aspects of you being this skilled visualizer or manifester, right? Like, there is some strategy involved in that. There is strategy of remembering to embody abundance, in your visualizations. There's that strategy of stretching that rubber band, but also accepting you for exactly where you're at. There's a strategy for, taking part in those activities that are going to bring you that high vibrational positive feelings, like nature or meditation, or hobbies that get you in the flow state, there, and gratitude as well. And there is strategy when it comes to just letting go of the timing and the how and the when, and letting go of even the dream itself, the outcome itself. And so there's some strategy involved there, as well as I'm picking up this strategy that your divine counterpart, which may be this masculine that I tapped into earlier, who has maybe had a history, and you may have had a long history. I'm getting for a good portion of the collective, it is a long time. I'm hearing like 10 years, 15 years, whether you're in separation or together, whether this is somebody you're trying to manifest or you want to be with somebody new, there is some strategy involved on their part. Like, they want to make sure that they are setting their own Nine of Pentacles foundations so that they can open and receive you into their life. So you're both doing this beautiful evolution, and you may be doing it separately, you may be doing it together. Like, if you are in a relationship, then like that is what's happening here. You're both working on that Nine of Pentacles, and it takes some of that Seven of Swords strategy and tact. And then I'm getting the Eight of Wands, which I'm getting, of course, is like, you know, in the previous reading, we got the Knight of Swords. So we're kind of also getting that similar fast-paced energy here. And it's kind of like that whirling. Like if you're listening to this video and you're feeling inspired, like that is that Eight of Wands energy that your angels are asking you to tap into, or they're letting you know, they're confirming that you are ready to tap into that energy, that whirling, exciting, motivated, inspired energy. Like your angels are encouraging you to ride that wave, right? And in the previous video I said, in a few previous videos, I believe, I said if you get some creative idea, or if you get like a piece of a visualization that really resonates with you, grab onto it, act on it. You know, if it's a creative idea for like a project, act on it, write it down, figure out the steps to do it, make it a priority. If it's a visualization, write it down, you know, take that time to pause. Is there really anything else that you're doing that's more important than taking that moment, sitting, pausing? I'm hearing like daydream more. Look out the window and just daydream, or sit in nature and just daydream. If you get a glimpse of a visualization, you are being blessed with this amazing channeled download into, you know, a perspective into a higher timeline. If you are being blessed with that, take that moment, honor it. Like, you know, if you were approached by an angel and you saw a giant bright angel, you wouldn't be like, oh, okay, hold on, sorry, I gotta finish getting my groceries really quick. Or like, I gotta send this one email for work. You would stop what you were doing and you would say, holy hell, what is going on? And you would give your full attention to what was being channeled. And I'm hearing my angels want me to remind that, like, when you get a little nudge, sometimes they just come in whispers. You're not going to always be, or maybe ever be, depending on, you know, what you would like, or, you know, what your clairvoyant openness is. You may not ever be approached by an angel in that way, where it's like, you know, like a bright light. That can be very scary for many people, so it just wouldn't happen because the angels will never scare you like that. But like, but I'm getting that, like, it may not be so obvious. It may not be like the message may not slap you in the face, right? It may just be a gentle, it often will just be a gentle whisper. And so this concept of, are you going to pause what you're doing to prioritize that whisper and make note of it? Or are you going to let it, you know, disintegrate into the ether, right? Are you going to let it just pass by like a cloud that just dissolves into the air, right? Like, grab hold of it. If you get a glimpse into that higher timeline and you can see a visualization, pause, live in it, embody it, just smile and have gratitude that you are getting a channeled download from your angels, which is helping you feed into your ability to conjure these beautiful feelings. And like I said, when we conjure those beautiful feelings, we are creating and we are aligning with that timeline energetically. And that's the prerequisite for it showing up in the 3D. So when you do get that nudge, really live it and write it. So the last cards I'm getting here, wow, okay, I feel like this is could be another tangent here, but we're getting the Tower and the Devil. So I'm feeling like this is maybe a huge hill that some of us are climbing or have just climbed over. This feeling of, you know, the devil being like doing the same things you've always been doing, or, you know, well, I don't want to listen to my angels right now, I just want to watch TV, or things like that, right? I think that's this thing that we're overcoming here. And the Tower being like, as we cross this line in the sand, the old must be torn down. Like, we have to go back down to the foundations, to the bare bones, to the ground, the ground level. And then I'm getting the Three of Cups. We got the Three of Cups in the last reading as well. And we have the Sun, which I feel like is a beautiful place to close this reading, actually. Okay, we have the Sun, the High Priestess, and the Nine of Cups. So I feel like this is just beautiful. So yeah, the Sun of just this like optimism and light and beautiful growth. And I feel like that is just like, I mean, who doesn't want to see the Sun in their tarot reading? Like, this is just the ultimate joy. And you know, like I was talking about before, your feelings of joy, positivity, clarity, like that is what the Sun is symbolizing here. And then with the High Priestess, like, you are really tapping into your intuition, that, you know, as the divine feminine, really understanding the power that you have within you to create these feelings. Like, as the sacred feminine, you are so in touch with your feelings, with your intuition. And I'm also getting this like act of light work and shadow work. So you may be bringing shadows to the surface, you know, these hidden truths and subconscious, you know, like these I'm hearing like these treasures that are unlocked beneath your subconscious. And it takes stillness and reflection to get there. So again, like I was saying, like if you're getting a whisper from your angels, take that time to sit with it in silence and really explore. You really can't explore the shadows in a loud environment, right? Like, you really need to get quiet and really lift the veil between your conscious and your subconscious, and really dive deep, right? If you really want to get to the unconscious mind and bring up those shadows to the light, because those are the things that are blocking your abundance, right? That are blocking your ability to visualize fully, right? Like, we want to take those out, bring them to the light. And by doing so, we have just gotten so in touch with our feelings and intuition. And that is what the High Priestess is blessing us with. And of course, the Nine of Cups, the beautiful wish card, and the feeling of just this satisfaction and fulfillment of life. And again, just like we started this reading with the not the High Priestess, with the Nine of Pentacles, and how we talked about that being an energetic state of being, so is the Nine of Cups. I feel like these are very much connected. Like, these are like the bookends of our reading, as well as your experience, and like your 3D experience, as well as your conscious experience. Feeling like this earthy groundedness combined with the cups of emotion, right? So you've got this fulfillment on both sides. And that's just like such a beautiful, beautiful bookend cards for this reading. So that is what I have for you. This was so positive and just brought me so much joy and energy just to channel into this. So if anything resonates, please leave a comment below. I would love it if the videos are resonating for you to subscribe and stick around so that you'll join on future videos. And thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.